Not knowing how to use electrical stimulation in your recovery can hold you back from seeing changes, especially when it comes to getting back your hand after stroke. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one simple way you can use electrical stimulation so that you can teach your brain how to open your hand up in your recovery after stroke. Hi, I'm William Lowe, and I'm a stroke survivor coach for stroke survivors who are ready to start seeing changes so that they can continue to progress in their recovery after stroke. I'm your coach if you're in a situation where you're not seeing any results in your recovery after stroke, and you're ready to make things happen so that you're able to start seeing changes and progress in your recovery and achieve your best possible recovery after stroke. If you're new to my channel, click the button below to subscribe, and I'll make sure to keep you in the loop with the latest ideas, tips, and exercises which you can use and apply in your recovery after stroke. Okay, so before we actually get into how to use electrical stimulation to teach your brain how to open up your hand in your recovery after stroke, I wanted to make a note and just mention that electrical stimulation really only works when it's extremely targeted in your recovery after stroke. So what this means is that if you're trying to guess where to put your electrical stimulation pads, but you're not really sure where your muscles are located on your body, then you're probably not going to be able to see the results which you're looking for in your recovery after stroke. And this is especially important when it comes to opening up your hand, because given the complexity of where your hand muscles are located on your arm and how fine they are, you need to be extremely accurate with where you place your pads. So with that being said, what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be sharing with you an extremely targeted way you can actually place your electrical stimulation placements so that you're able to accurately target all of the muscles which you're looking to target at a very consistent manner every time you use electrical stimulation in your recovery after stroke. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be panning the camera down, and I'm just going to be showing you and walking you through the setup. And this is really important because the way you set up how you actually use electrical stimulation is going to dictate how much benefits you're actually going to get out of this extremely powerful exercise in your recovery. So the first thing we want to do when it comes to teaching our brain how to open up your hand in your recovery is we want to look for what are called anatomical landmarks. And anatomical landmarks is basically a fancy term which clinicians use to describe certain places on your body which give them a sense of where certain muscles are. In other words, you can think of these as reference points for someone who is unable to see what's underneath the surface of your skin. So when it comes to this particular exercise of teaching your brain how to open up your hand, we're looking for two anatomical landmarks. So the first anatomical landmark we're looking for is actually one closest to your bicep, which is basically where if you're a stroke survivor and you've been to hospital, it's where nurses and doctors might have drawn blood from you when you first went into hospital for care. And you might remember this is right below your bicep. So once you've found that first reference point or anatomical landmark, you want to create an L with your fingers like so, and you want to place your thumb right underneath or right on top where they actually drew blood from you when you're in hospital. Now, once you've done that, what you want to do is you want to wrap your index finger right around your forearm like so, such that your index finger goes around the edge of your forearm and you're able to feel a little bone at the tip of your index finger. And once you've felt that bone, you know that you're in the correct spot. Now, once you've done that, what you want to do is you want to place your middle finger right next to that index finger, followed by your ring finger as well as your pinky finger. So now that we've set up ourselves like so, we now have a very good idea where the muscles are which we want to target. And in fact, the main muscle we want to target is right underneath our ring finger. So what we want to do is we want to place the very first pad right underneath that ring finger. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pressing down with my nail or my ring finger to give myself an idea where that spot is. And I'm going to be placing the very first pad right underneath where my ring finger was there. So once we've done that, we now know that the first pad is actually right on top of the main muscle which is used to open your fingers and also lift up your wrist in your recovery after stroke. And again, I'm just going to go over that again. So the first thing we want to do is we want to place the thumb right underneath where they drew blood in you. We want to wrap the index finger around the elbow such that we're touching the bony thing on the side, followed by the middle finger and the ring finger and also the pinky finger. And the important thing to note with this is that you don't want your fingers to be set up at an angle where it's straight, but rather ideally you want it at a 45-degree angle. A lot of stroke survivors make the mistake of moving their hands like this, but that can actually result in not actually targeting the muscle in a very accurate manner. So have it at a 45-degree angle and place it right underneath your ring finger, and it should be ideally a little bit to the right of your pinky finger as well. So once we've done that, we now know that we've targeted the correct muscle which is used to open up your fingers, because it actually attaches from the bone which was right underneath your index finger here. It travels all the way towards the middle of your forearm before it divides into small little tendons which go towards the tips of your fingers and allow your fingers to actually go up. Now with that being said, now we're going to look at the second anatomical landmark, which is going to be somewhere very close to your wrist. So if you feel around your wrist area and you come down from the top of your elbow, you might notice that there's a little bumpy thing right on the base of your pinky finger or your ring finger. Now once you've found that little bumpy thing, what you want to do is you want to place your pinky finger right on top of that little bumpy thing, like so. Once you've done it in this manner, again at a 45-degree angle, you also want to place your ring finger right next to your pinky finger, followed by your middle finger as well as your index finger. Now once you've done this, what you want to do is you want to put the second pad right underneath your index finger, like so. So what I'm going to be doing now, and this is just my personal preference, I'm going to be digging my nail into my skin just to give myself an indication of where that spot was. And once I've done that, I'm going to be placing the second pad right underneath where my index finger was placed, like so. So now that we've set up ourselves for success, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to actually attach the leads in to our pads, and we're going to see what happens when we turn on the machine. And what we should see is that our fingers should actually tend to want to open up, followed by the wrist as well. So I'm going to be placing the black lead into the pad which is closest to the wrist, and I'm going to be placing the red lead into the pad which is closest to the elbow. And once we've done this, what I'm actually going to be doing now is I'm actually going to be placing my arm right on top of a wooden yoga block. And the reason why I want to place on a wooden yoga block is because this actually allows your hand to get into a more natural position, which helps you to get more natural finger opening or finger extension. So I've set myself up like that. I'm just going to do a couple more fixes. And once we've done that, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning on the machine. And if we've done this correctly, we should notice that the fingers should want to go up as well as the wrist at the same time. So I'll turn on the machine now, and what we should notice is that the fingers should want to come up like so. So I've moved the camera up, but I'll move it down here. And as you can see, when the machine is coming on, my fingers are wanting to come up, followed by my thumb as well. And if we move the yoga block actually vertically, we can actually get a better indication of what this placement actually does and what it's going to do for the hands. So I'm going to pan down again, and then I'm going to move my yoga block like so. And as you can see here, this electrical stimulation placement, it's actually making my hand open up completely as well as extend out the thumb. So that's basically how to use electrical stimulation to open up your hand in your recovery after stroke. And I find that this electrical stimulation placement is extremely powerful, especially when you're doing it over a yoga block, like I mentioned, because it gives your brain a very good sense of how to open up the hand while also eliminating the shoulder. If you're doing this electrical placement where your arm is close to your body, then you're not going to be getting as much benefit as if you had it outstretched like so. Having your arm outstretched like so, it actually allows your brain to get back into how you actually used to open up your hand before in your recovery after stroke, when your arm was outstretched, rather than if your arm was close to your body, which tends to happen to a lot of stroke survivors. So I'll turn off the machine, now, and I'll just go through the placement pads now, the electrical stimulation pads now, and I'll just walk you through the whole process. So the first thing we want to do when it comes to this placement is, again, we want to locate reference points or anatomical landmarks. First one is going to be very close to where they drew blood from you in hospital. Once you've found that, you want to use your thumb, place your thumb right on the spot where they used to do that. And once you've done that, you want to wrap your index finger around your forearm, like so. You want to wrap it around at a 45-degree angle where your index finger is able to touch your bone, followed by your middle finger and also your ring finger and also your pinky finger, like so. Once you've done that, you want to place the first pad right underneath where your ring finger was to ensure you've got the right spot. And once you've done that, what you want to do is you want to look very close to your wrist for a little bumpy spot. Once you've found a little bumpy spot, what you want to do is you want to place your pinky finger right on top of that little bumpy spot, followed by your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index finger. And the second pad should be right underneath your index finger right here, as you can see, as I've demonstrated in this video here. So that's just one of the electrical stimulation placements which I show my pain clients to help them see more results in their recovery after stroke. So you can go ahead and you can apply this in your recovery to also see results in your hand recovery as well. But if you would like more support with this, I do offer a free stroke recovery session over at my website. And for more details on that, you can click on the description below as well. Look, recovering from a stroke is hard enough as it is and made even more challenging without the right support and guidance, which is why I really want to help you start to see more results and changes in your recovery after stroke. I'm really passionate about helping stroke survivors who have been told that they've hit a plateau in their recovery after stroke, or who have been told that they've recovered as much as they possibly can, start to continue to see more changes and results in their recovery so that they can achieve their best recovery possible and live their best life after stroke, which is why I do offer a free stroke recovery session. And for more information on that, you can click the link below in the description below this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you found this exercise beneficial, and I look forward to hearing how this has helped you in your recovery after stroke.